I went online and looked for family style dining videos, a few. I could find a few for early childhood environments, but they weren't just like ours because the children bring in their own lunches. How do you do family style if you have your own lunch? So we said, well, we're going to take everything out, put our lunchbox under our chair, and let the child see everything that's there and choose what he or she will eat first. And put that food on a plate. You can visualize your portions better. You can talk about half should be fruits and vegetables. Before, the children were just eating out of little baggies and containers. So that's how we, made it more family style, but we started passing napkins and utensils during lunchtime. Pass the napkins, use your manners, self-control, be a part of the meal. And a big move was having the staff sit down, the teachers sit with the children. They weren't sitting with them. And the teacher said, we can't sit with them, we have too much to do. It takes too long. So it's a process. You need to allow more time at the beginning, and now the teachers love sitting with them. It's a great time to hear the conversation that what the kids have to say. And at that time, they talk about what they brought in to eat.
Anybody eat any vegetables like broccoli?
That was a turkey.
Me. You ate
What's in your hand? You're hiding food from me.
Family style eating, teaching the kids, learning myself how to support the kids in that, how, each step of that process is important. Taking the napkin by themselves and serving themselves the food and pouring their own drink, that whole process is so much smoother now that I've learned how to do it. And each teacher has a different way that they do it with different aged children. And I'm just finding that my kids are so much more capable than I thought, even in terms of that, in terms of coming up and being able to pour themselves a drink. It's amazing what they're able to do once you learn how to teach them how to do it. I was concerned about which way to go. Should I, should I put everything on the table and just let them go? Should we pass it all in a circle? And once I realized that it actually doesn't matter as long as I pick a way and do it, stick to the routine, we can grow from there. And Chris has supported us in that and getting us the right size bowls and the right size tongs, the right size water pitcher. That's been really helpful in making that happen.
Thank you, Gran. Good job. Family style dining, we do that in our classes for snack. The children pass around bowls of food and they serve themselves. We teach that to parents, that children are more likely to eat healthy foods and a variety of foods and try new foods if they're serving themselves. So that's something that we talk about all the time. Put a bowl of broccoli on the table and let them take it. Introduce new foods and let their children know, and we do this in class as well, smell it, touch it, because that's a part of tasting too, what the food smells like, what it feels like, what it looks like. And even if they take a lick, then that's considered tasting, and that's a first step, and maybe next time they'll take a tiny bite. And that is what happens, and we see that. So we do that in school, but we also teach that to parents so they can try it at home, because right away they will tell us that, my child won't eat that. But if they try some of these strategies, we find that it really works. We talk about family-style dining and how it's important that the children are serving themselves or passing napkins or getting plates. And what we see often, which I understand, is it takes a long time for children to pass and to serve themselves. So as adults, we tend to want to rush. So what I see is if a child is struggling, or not even struggling, but just taking a while, or they're picking up pears with tongs and they miss, and they're doing it again and they're missing, and so teachers might take it and say, here, I'll do it for you, and because they want to rush it along, because that's what we're used to, rushing. And I can't tell you how many children have said to me, or I've heard, not necessarily to me, but to sometimes to me, especially my son, you're rushing me, because that's what we tend to do. And children do not rush. They don't have, the sense of time the way we do. They're not in a hurry. And so that's something that we were continuing to teach and hopefully model to other teachers, that it's okay, this is all part of the process, and that if it takes 5 minutes to pass napkins around, let them take the time. Don't do it for them, because that's what we see. We see teachers tend to grab it and just kind of do it for them. In our when we teach classes, we have half an hour. So sometimes we have to make choices. So we may pass around the napkins, but then let them serve themselves the food. So you do have to make choices. But that, I think, that's been one of the biggest struggles for teachers, just standing back and not doing it for them. Because that's what, as adults, we're used to doing everything for children. And here we're saying, let them do it, because then they're more likely to eat different foods, try different things. If we're teaching the children about, maybe it's about, passing, the bowl of food, that's what we'll explain to parents, that every one of the children, they put, this, they squeeze the hummus on their plate and they dip the broccoli in and they all tasted it. So these are the same parents that might say they will not eat that. They ate it for us. So why are they eating it for us? Of course, they have other children around, so that's encouraging them. But what's the difference? The difference is they're serving themselves. The difference is there's no pressure, and we tell this to parents.
Each classroom receives serving utensils with the appropriate serving amounts on them, so they know which utensil to use. Different serving pitchers, serving bowls. The children receive, forks, spoons. And I go down and I monitor 3 times a year the preschool age children to ensure that they are following the family style dining rules and procedures. Make sure the teachers are modeling the food components and the children are serving themselves and friendly, positive atmosphere.
And then we're going to do thumbs
With the
up.
family style dining, the times that I have monitored, I have seen the children, and they each sit in groups at maybe 3 or 4 tables in the classrooms, all with appropriate adult supervision at each table. The children engage in conversation amongst the group setting there. They serve themselves, which allows them to feel a little more independent, I think, and to kind of judge what an appropriate portion is with the proper serving utensil they've been given.
Well, we are like a family here in Centronia, so that's how the way we treat our children. So we start with them, greeting them in the morning when we come into the classroom, doing a little dance as a good morning with them, and later we go wash our hands and then we go to the table. We have job chart where they all have jobs in our classroom. Some of them clean the table, other ones are the one who puts the plates, the other ones are the one who pass the food, and then we sit down together to eat all as a family. There in the table we talk things that happen at home or things that we're going to do in school. Because sometimes these kind of children, parents work and they're not at home, so they don't have the opportunity to share the communication, the talking part. So sometimes they just eat in a sofa, or they just eat in a table, or they eat by themselves. They're very happy of sharing their experience, sharing what's going on. Even in the classrooms, they share things that happen at home. That's a way as a teacher know what's going on and how we could help them.
It's just a beautiful process. And it's basically, that's another thing, educating the adults. And I think the main thing is to give the food the importance it is in life. Is you have to take time to eat, not to eat very quick to go to take a nap. Then that is that you have to take more time to eat with the children. Then it basically goes to the same thing. Children will do whatever you think is fun. If you say, oh, this is much fun to do it this way, children will do it. It's to educate the adults. Like I say, you have to compromise the teachers to do this. You have to sell the idea to them. Then first was like, we don't have enough bowls, put the food there. And it has been a process, and I have seen the improvement immensely. And it's such a lovely thing to see how much the children will serve and how much they learn what are they wanting to eat. and also gives them, empower them to eat. This is what I want to eat. I mean, put a little bit, but I want more of this. Then it's a very important process for children, and I think teachers are aware of that now and are practicing, and it's just taking more time and making a lot more fun to eat. I mean, which is we have lost here somehow. We think we don't have time to eat. I'm like, what? What do you mean you don't have time to eat? You have to eat in front of a computer. How that works? I mean, it's like, and it's because culturally in this country we lost that. We are a very busy people who not take the time to eat, and that makes it completely. But then I think that if we make changes when they are young, that is going to impact our entire life.